The HIDIZS S2 Pro. Let's talk about it. Now this is a dual dynamic driver IEM from HIDIZS that is currently on Kickstarter that costs around $50. Let's start by looking at the build quality of this IEM, and then we'll go from there. Now, the IEM does detach from the cable. You can see that it has a nice kind of rose gold nozzle on my version, and that it has a nice looking kind of filter on it. You can see the drivers through the IEM, which is really cool. It's not a filled in resin, but it's nice and light. It looks nice. It feels durable in the hand. It has a nice HIDIZS branded kind of faceplate, and it looks quite lovely as we look at it. As far as shell and comfort goes, it's pretty good. No major fault, and I like it a great deal. I like the transparent nature of this USB-C cable. It's kind of fun. You can kind of see some of the electronics through there. That's a popular trend with a lot of high-end things. This cable is nice. You can tell we have a non-branded Y-split, little microphone on it, and it is a nice feeling cable. It is slightly microphonic, but I am sensitive to microphonic cables, and this one did not bother me. It is like a flat angled 2-pin cable connector. Didn't really have any major faults with this. You can kind of tell which side is right and left based on the colors here, but not too exciting of a cable, but it's nice. These are the accessories. You get some tips. You get a USB-C adapter for it. I mean, the little case you get or pouch is not too exciting, but it's the same one they include in their more expensive IEMs. So in that case, it's a good value. So how does this sound? Boomy, bombastic, fun, engaging, great extension on both ends, and is kind of an aggressive, bassy, U-shaped set. And what that means is that it's going to have a lot of bass, it's going to have a lot of details, and in certain brands of music are going to sound fantastic on it, and other things might sound a little bit off depending on your preferences. I personally think this is an extremely fun set, and I will recommend it to a lot of people, especially if you're new to the hobby. But let's start by looking at some graphs, then we can kind of go and maybe figure out whether this is for you or not. Let's take a minute and look at their Kickstarter page. They've asked me to put my video live on the 22nd, so this is being recorded early in case this does change. Now, this is currently for $49, where the cost of this, for the early birds is a little bit cheaper. You can just get the cable without the IEM, but I kind of recommend the IEM. You might as well at this price point just for a few more dollars. Now, there are problems with many headphones, right? Like the fact that you have to carry them with you and you might lose them. Like the fact of wanting a nice, comfy fitting IEM or earbud style thing that you can take to the gym and not lose it. Like it's really easy to lose your wired sets. Like they can drop on the ground, or you can lose an earbud. I found one at work recently, and I still don't know whose it is, and it creates kind of problems. So like a set like this, especially for giving to your kid or a friend or a neighbor, or as a gift, I think this would work really, really well, because it's a really great, fun, engaging IEM that people I think are just gonna love. Now, a few things to note: it does have its own DAC. You'll notice that these ratings are very strong. It does have a nice curve, and it does have a nice look to it. And I think there's a lot to be said. It gives you a nice chart here about what you can do. You don't have to worry about battery. You don't have to worry about charging it. You can just throw it in your pocket, take it with you as you go. It's a durable, nice feeling IEM, and that has a lot of good things about it. It's not super expensive. When you look at it, compare it to a lot of the high-end sets, it's not easy to lose, and it does feel good in ear, and it has a good comfort factor to have. Again, there's a lot of features to this IEM. I'm more focused on sound on my channel and how do things sound and how does this compare to other IEMs. And I personally think that sonically it is extremely enjoyable, extremely competitive at its price. Okay, let's look at the HIDIZS ST2 Nebula. And you'll notice it has a nice graph, but one of the things you'll notice is that that bass rise is super late. And this is going to come across as to many a very fun style tuning, but not a correct tuning to many audiophiles. And I wanted to be clear about how this is different than maybe a more audiophile branded set. And so I think this, you have to really consider who this is for. This is for people that are looking for a fun, punchy set that's wired for the gym, that has a unique, bright, I would say more like a bassy but detailed sound signature, which I find difficult to pull off. And that's one of the things I really like about this set, is that it's really rich and fun, but it has a lot of high-end bass as well, and it's just there's something cool about it. And I really dig it. And I really think it's kind of a special thing. And I'm happy to be sharing this with you guys, but it does have some caveats. I wanted to compare this to some other of HIDIZS's other IEMs, and then we can go from there. The first one I wanted to compare this to is the HIDIZS MS3. I wasn't a huge fan of this. Its treble and its feeling in the presence region and its lack of bass felt very bright leaning, which to me does not work for what I want from my library. And it felt like it was just so bright and it did not work for me. Like if we normalize this at say 800, you'll see something of like how much brightness you get here and how much more bassy the Nebula is. Now, some people might like the MS3 more, but for me, the brightness just killed it for me, and I didn't want to listen to it any longer. Another one to think about, I really like the HIDIZS MP145, but it's $145. You might be able to find it used or discounted for cheaper, but it's expensive. The ST2 is a lot cheaper. It has a nice bass shelf. It has a little bit of a different presentation, but it's overall a nice set and a unique presentation that I think people are gonna like. But again, if you're looking for a more balanced set, I do think the MP145 is a lot more balanced in that regards. Another one to talk about is the HIDIZS MP143. Now, I like the MP143. It's nice and flat. It's even kiltered. It does a lot of things really well. It's not super fun, but I can see how people like it. It suffers from the same problems that the MP145 has. It's expensive. It's a little bit more neutral. It doesn't really go in that super engaging crazy factor, and it's kind of safe as well, but it is a nice set, and I would say that it's probably better for most audiophiles to go with that. Now, one thing I do want to show you is this is an IEM I've had on my desk. I got these about the same time. There's the Nebula and the Metallic. Now, I like the Metallic. It's a nice set. It's different. It's unique. It's bassy. It's fun. But I think the ST Nebula is even better, and it's super fun. It's super interesting. It's super unique, and I think it's gonna melt a lot of hearts. It has this really great detail in this upper end. It has really great sub bass, and I do think the Nebula is a better value, especially at $50 if you're looking for a fun tune set with some unique properties. Now, one thing this reminds me of a great deal is the AME Musa. Now, the AME Musa is a unique tuned IEM that I haven't found a lot like. Now, these aren't exactly alike, but they share more characteristics than a lot of other graphs that I can think of or look at. But the Musa has this fantastic sub bass that the Nebula is lacking a little bit, but you might not like the sub bass of it as much. The thing about it is that these have a similar sonic profile, but the Nebula is much cheaper. Like it's $50, where the AME Musa is $4,500. And to be able to have that kind of fun profile and something that you can't afford is a fantastic thing to note. And so it represents a great value in the fact that it's a little bit different, but fun and unique at that same time. Okay, let's rank this guy up. I really like the Nebula. I think it's a very fun, engaging sound. And if like one of my friends wanted a USB-C IEM who's not in the hobby, I would fully recommend the HIDIZS ST2 as a new, fun-loving bass set. It has fantastic bass. Its mids are going to be a little bit cooked. And I want to be clear with that 6.5 rating, that if you are looking for a very clean and flat neutral set, this may not be what you're looking for. This is a detailed but bassy set, meaning that has a ton of bass, a ton of detail, and they both those ends shine very well in an interesting, fun manner. But it's not flat. It has some peculiarities that I think I wanted to recommend. For people that really looking for that neutral set, this is not going to be for you. But it is good and it is competitive. Again, it has nice highs, very detailed, very airy, very impressive at its price point. Its imaging to me goes in that fun direction where it just feels like you're like almost sitting on top of a speaker and it's just hammering, and just the bass and the thunderous impact of this set is fantastic and has a great sense of space and soundstage to it. This tuning is lovely and does some awesome stuff. But I have to be careful and have to be warn people that this isn't going to be the bassy set that is also neutral. This is a super crazy fun set, and that it is something to adore. So this is an interesting IEM. I think it represents some great value because it has a USB-C cable that comes with it, because it has a nice, lovely sound that comes together. But I can see how some people are not going to like it. I do find this tuning philosophy to be extremely effective and extremely engaging. But for people who are really looking for a neutral tonality, there are other IEMs that you could find that are going to have a more neutral tonality that might be a better deal for you. This to me is an extreme fun set. It's an engaging set. It's a good set. And I like this set, and I appreciate HIDIZS for sending this out. But again, I wanted to be clear that what this set is and who this is for. This is a little bit more of a mainstream IEM, but it sounds great. And it sounds very clear, very resolute. And it is a unique IEM at this price point, and that it does have great, detailed, crispy highs and thunderous bass. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You're still here. It's over. Go home. Oh, you're expecting a teaser for our next video. Well, we don't have that kind of money. What are you expecting? One of those store reviewers to show up in a saucy little leather number? Go. Oh, I can tell you one thing. We are going to have a collab video. We have no idea what it's going to be. Probably Kryn, maybe Chris, or Joyce. Don't deny it. She's got range. Go. Get out of here. Go. Go.
Go.
Go on with you.